Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Future Proof. I'm recording to you from a hotel in Houston, Texas. I am traveling this week and apologize if the lighting is not great, but let's dive into today's episode. If your child is not building solutions now, so if you have a 13-year-old and older who's not building solutions now, who is not developing applications and doing work that involves portfolio building, if they're not building practical solutions, I'm concerned. What AI is doing is that it is making stuff that is generally easy, right? Like writing a cover letter. Anybody can have a cover letter. Anyone can have a resume built in a matter of minutes if they know how to use AI well. So the problem is not what you can tell schools about yourself. The problem becomes like, what can you show them that you've built? I believe it is time to build. And one of the things I'm going to say right away, it's going to sound controversial, but I mean what I'm about to say, and I think this is something parents really need to pay attention to, is that going to school is not necessarily the best idea if that's the only thing you are hoping will help your child to succeed in life. Even AI is doing better than people who go to school now, right? So going to school is no longer enough. You have to build. You have to build applications. You have to build websites. You have to build solutions. You have to sell products. Students need to be learning those skills now. Business, entrepreneurship, AI development, AI engineering, data science, data analytics. And I will be bringing on a data analyst and someone who does work in database management, and he will provide us with some insight. So next week, Future Proof will have a guest speaker. So I'm excited for what is coming. The traditional path is now obsolete. The path, and this is it's breaking news everywhere. In Michigan, I saw a news report just recently. Students are questioning if they should go to college. They're wondering, is it worth it? Is college worth it anymore? That's a very legitimate question. Some of the top executives right now, some of the people who are hiring a lot of people, they don't have college degrees. I'm not saying people shouldn't go to college, but I'm saying if you're going to go to college, make sure it ties to your vision. But the problem is most people don't have a vision. So let us spend as much time as possible getting a vision and clarity before we press on after high school. That's what I would encourage parents to tell their children. But why would our children, or why would children reach high school and still not have a vision? That tells you something about our education system. Guys, let me just be very honest with you. Amos, people say, Amos, you need to calm down. You're going against some of the traditional views of society on these things. But the reality is that AI is exposing something that was already a problem before it came. Our education system was not helping people flourish and learn how to think. But in the age of AI, where machines can do a lot of the computation, people need to know how to think. That means we need a new education system that focuses on helping people learn how to think. Well, where do our kids begin with that? Where do kids begin with that? Your kids need to be reading the great books of Western civilization. Your kids need to be off social media, and I say that in love. They need to be off of social media before the age of 16. They have no business worrying about that. They need to be reading books, lots of them. And even after the age of 16, we need to have a license for people before they get social media. Show me your license, right? Have you learned to think? Have you found a vision for your life? There's just some things that need to be in place before children decide, okay, what am I going to do with social media, right? And I say all of this. Why is Amos talking like this? Because there's an urgency in my bones. There is no time to waste. Every child needs to be building and solving problems in their community and not just depending on their education from a school to give them a roadmap to success. They need to be they don't need permission to solve problems. They need to be solving problems that can help a lot of people. So the old narrative of just studying hard and getting good grades, it's just not going to work in the AI revolution. AI is getting better grades than human beings. That's not the issue anymore. The grades are a tool, but more importantly, students need to master what they're learning. If a student cannot teach others what they're learning, they haven't mastered it, and that's a problem. Students need to master what they're learning. Now, one of the things that is happening in the work world is that there's less hiring of junior engineers in certain companies, junior software developers. So Somebody goes to college, gets a 4-year degree, and then tries to apply for a job, and they're told, nope, there's no job for you in the software space of this kind. The senior software engineers, they need a lot more of those people. Well, what's the difference between a senior software engineer and a junior engineer? Well, part of the difference is that the senior engineers, right, now they're able to have AI agents that can help them do a lot more at once, and then they can review the work the AI agents are doing. So what if the junior engineer, somebody who graduates from college, doesn't graduate and just say, I'm a junior engineer, but graduates and says, I've been building since I was 13. I've been building since I was 15. I'm now 22 years old. That's not a traditional junior engineer. That is someone with experience who just graduated college, but has a lot of experience and has a portfolio to show for it. That's why 13 to 16-year-olds right now, or even 13 to 18-year-olds should not be sitting around playing video games and not building. They need to be building and building a lot. We need children working with other children to build, right? So we're starting an AI Engineering Academy on June 8th, God willing. So it's going to run through the summer, where we teach middle school and high schoolers how to build. Somebody might say, but Amos, if somebody knows how to use AI, they might not do their schoolwork. They might use AI and they're not thinking for themselves and so on. Here's the deal. One of the best mathematicians in history, Kepler, when he had a calculating machine, he actually did more with his life. That's the framework I'm inviting families to consider. What if AI is a tool that can help you do more, not less? Okay, so amplification is the key. Johannes Kepler used computation and a computing machine to amplify his abilities, not to shrink back. So I think moving forward, in the past we thought that AI would replace certain jobs, and it is replacing certain jobs, but there's some other jobs where AI is not replacing those jobs, like software engineers in certain ranks. Instead, it's amplifying their work. So if you have a student who is below middle school, they need to be reading a lot, they need to be doing a lot of math, but then they need to start building right when they get into middle school. They need to learn Python, they need to learn how AI works, they need to understand the fact that AI makes mistakes and how to verify and vet AI. Well, that gets into the high school level. We're going to be running AI fluency workshops twice a month. We have one coming up May 23rd, God willing. That'll be the Saturday around May 23rd. So we're running an AI workshop then, and then we're going to run one in June, 2 in June. We want to make sure that people are AI fluent, so your middle school and high schoolers can join us. My email is amosthemathguy@gmail.com, amosthemathguy@gmail.com, in case you want to join in. So why are junior engineers not getting some of the job opportunities? Well, what used to happen is that certain roles, like junior roles, would have people that can write some of the foundational code that somebody else might take and do something with it. Well, what happens when AI can write that foundational code and a senior engineer can just review it? See, we're going to have a problem there. The other thing you need to encourage your children to do is to learn how to start a business, to do marketing, to do sales, and how to scale the business. That is something we need to be teaching to children who are 13 to 16 years old. They're going to be 18-year-olds that are hiring 35-year-olds very soon. I think I saw one report of that already, but this is going to become very normal. And the reason is because the technology right now works best for those who know how to use technology well and have good understanding of technology. Well, the young people do. Like, we need to start teaching them the skills to start and run a business, but also humility and insights, and they need wisdom from their elders. Those are things that need to be also addressed, of course. So part of the challenge is that the junior engineers are competing with certain AI models, and the AI models in many cases are going to probably be sufficient for what the companies need. The solution, I would say again, is just help your children not to graduate college and become just junior engineers, but let them graduate college and they've already built a lot, and they already have a business, right, at that point that is doing okay. We will be talking about business and entrepreneurship within our AI engineering program in the summer as well. So in a world where AI can generate code instantly, senior engineers they have the invaluable judgment tool. They can look and they can see what needs to be thrown away and what needs to be used. That is part of the advantage that senior engineers have right now. So if you want to give your child a future-proof education, Let's see how we can help them get 10 years of programming before they even get to the job world. But the job world is more like, okay, they're interested in that field. Okay, I want to work at Boeing or SpaceX because I like rockets or airplanes. But I can also just work for my own business. That's the mindset they need to have. That is the only guarantee in the future-proof economy. So the old ways are not going to work. We need to show people the importance of the new methods, which is where you take AI, you use judgment, you read books on strategy, you spend time with business executives, you prepare to become a business executive yourself. That's the world we're going into. Everybody, every child should be given that kind of education at such a time as this. So let me land the plane. The portfolio matters. Focus on building your GitHub. GitHub is this place where you can basically put all your code. So build your GitHub. Start writing blogs about what you're learning. This is a message to the students. Create a channel. Let's say, especially if you're 18 years old already, 16 to 18 years old, create a YouTube channel and document lessons that you can teach to others. Maybe start a tutoring company. Start teaching younger students so you get experience teaching and explaining concepts to others. Build an app. Have it tested. Show the world what you can do. That is what you want to do with your time, instead of just going to school. If you're going to school because of the social element, I get it. But if you're going to school because you want to learn very well, I'm sorry to say not many schools are ready for the AI revolution, and a lot of them are not preparing their students. That's just the truth. So parents are going to have to step in a lot more in the AI revolution education prep, because you want to help your children to find out their skill set, and then they can channel those skill sets into practical ways. Those I think are going to be very important for future proof. So let's help our students to build products, find valuable internships, network with other people, engage in projects, and showcase their skills. And I would also argue we need to have more in-person events where we come together and build with some of these students. So we're going to do one in Houston, one in Atlanta, and then in Chicago. So stay tuned for more information on this in the summer of 2026. This is Amos the Math Guy. Thank you for watching Future Proof. Take care and have a blessed day. We'll see you next time.